Our next story is from Singapore. The island nation has just passed a novel law, possibly the first of its kind in the world. This law gives unprecedented powers to the police. It will allow the police to freeze bank accounts, not the accounts of a crime perpetrator, but the accounts of a potential victim. You see, Singapore is trying to crack down on scams. It wants to stop people sending money to scammers, even if it means freezing the victim's account. Is this the right call, or is this the hallmark of a nanny state? Our next report has the details.
The police are supposed to protect you. Their job is to prevent crimes. They have wide-ranging powers and can potentially make life-saving decisions. This is true all over the world. But how much power should they really have? How much should they be allowed to do to help someone, especially if that person does not want their help? This is a tricky question, and it seems Singapore has decided to err on the side of caution. They have given their police a new power, the ability to freeze a potential scam victim's bank account. There are a lot of online scams these days. You hear about things like romance scams or pig butchering. These scams are especially insidious. They involve building trust with the victim, luring them in with promises of love or friendship. And then, when the victim lets their guard down, the scammer proceeds to bleed them dry. The victims think they are helping a friend or a partner. They willingly give away their life savings until they are left with nothing. The worst part is, the victims often ignore the warning signs. They refuse to listen to their friends and family, and they may even be hostile towards the police or banking officials. Singapore has seen this all too often. Tens of thousands of people every year fall victim to such scams. Billions of dollars have been lost. And even when the police know a scam is underway, they have been powerless to save the victims. Well, not anymore. Singapore passed a new law on Tuesday. It's called the Protection from Scams Bill. It allows the police to stop victims from sending money to scammers by freezing their bank accounts. The police can now suspend money transfers, block ATM and credit facilities, and basically take away a person's financial independence, all for their own good. Reports say that Singapore may be the first country in the world to bring in such a law, to give so much power to their police. There will be some guardrails in place. The freeze will only be allowed as a last resort, after the police and banks try and fail to convince potential victims that they're being scammed. The police can then impose the freeze for 30 days. After that, they will have to renew the freeze. The police can renew it up to 5 times. After that, the potential victim will be given back control over their account. They will then be free to blow up their life savings on that special new friend that they have never met in person. Singapore's Minister of State for Home Affairs said, "We cannot handhold the victim indefinitely, nor do we have the resources to do so." So they know that there's such a thing as a lost cause. But even if Singapore won't handhold the victim indefinitely, it's willing to handhold them temporarily. This has divided opinion. Should the police be given such overarching powers? Should they be able to dictate someone's finances? Singapore knows that this is the nuclear option. It wants to only use it in case of emergencies. They say they expect to use it 5 to 10 times a month, so that's about 120 times a year. The country says that 50,000 scams are reported annually. But what if the victims resort to sending cryptocurrencies instead, or find another way to bypass their banks? Will Singapore keep giving more powers to the police every time a new loophole appears? This is a fight between personal autonomy and public safety. And Singapore has chosen to go with the latter.
From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, shedding light on the world's top headlines, detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you. Catch it all on Spotlight at 6 p.m. India time and 12:30 GMT, only on Firstpost.